50 AD, these cities were abandoned. This first collapse was a warning. It showed that the Maya environment was fragile. The soil was thin. The water was scarce. But the Maya did not learn. They moved into the lowlands, and for 600 years, they built the most sophisticated society the Americas had ever seen. Part 2. The Divine Kings and the Blood Debt. To understand why the Maya cities were eventually abandoned, we have to look deeper into their daily reality. Their world was not divided into the natural and the supernatural. Everything was alive. The mountains were gods, the caves were portals to the underworld, and the king was the axis upon which the entire universe turned. In the great plazas of Tikal and Palenque, the king would appear before thousands of his subjects. He would be dressed in the iridescent green feathers of the quetzal bird, draped in heavy jade jewelry and wearing a towering headdress. But being a king was a burden of blood. The Maya believed that the gods had sacrificed their own blood to create humanity. Therefore, humanity owed a blood debt to the gods to keep the world in motion. If the debt was not paid, the sun would stop, and the universe would dissolve into chaos. This meant the king's primary job was ritual bloodletting. Using obsidian blades or stingray spines, the king and queen would pierce their own flesh to offer their life force to the earth. To the modern ear, this sounds gruesome. But to a Maya farmer, this was a moment of profound hope. They believed that as long as the king bled, the rains would come. But this system had a fatal flaw. It linked the climate directly to the king's political legitimacy. As long as the weather was good and the harvests were plentiful, the king was a god. But if a drought lasted too long, it meant the king's blood was no longer powerful. It meant the gods had rejected him. By the middle of the 8th century, this social contract began to shred. The population of the Maya lowlands had reached its